Hey, hey, Blue Table fans, it is I. It is I. So, every year in September, my wife's mother has a timeshare up in Snowbird, Utah, which is this really awesome resort. It's a ski resort, so we're here in the off season. And so it's been really cool for the last 9 years. It's been kind of this free vacation that we get to, you load up some food and the kids and come up for a few days. We split it with her other sisters. And so this is usually a time for me to get away. And I mean, usually it's a working vacation. I just keep up on emails and everything. This will be the first year where I have a full crew down at the studio taking care of business. So for the most part, I don't really have to worry about anything. So that's my first thing I want to express is gratitude to my crew for really shouldering the responsibility of the studio, and I think that's really great. And so anyway, in case you haven't guessed, this is the beginning of a life/business ramble. And so first off, Blue Table Painting does have a Facebook page. I have a personal Facebook page, which is Sean Gately, and I'm usually not very picky about who I friend, and to me that seems natural. The world is my friend, and if anything, I just try and not make too much contact with humans because it makes them nervous, So anyway, all right, well, here I am. What the heck am I going to talk about? First off, I'm up here with my Lizardmen book. What up? So I'm going to be doing a separate video talking about not just the Lizardmen army that I have ready to be assembled and painted, but also the Lizardmen in general. I've been reading up on them, and boy, they are really cool. Last Saturday I did a bat rep with it was the first of what we're hoping to be higher end bat reps. And yeah, we still made some mistakes. But anyway, we had the two opponents. It was me and Rich. We played Warhammer Fantasy. 2 painted armies, painted terrain. We had everything prepped ahead of time. And then we had a judge. So we had a local game shop owner who knows the rules really well there to look things up and kind of make sure we didn't overlook anything. And we also had a cameraman. So that's the beginning of esports style coverage. Well, I'm not the beginning of that, but I believe esports style coverage is coming for miniatures battles games. And we're really still kind of in the Stone Age as far as, well, probably not the Stone Age. The 80s and 90s were the Stone Age, when you were making your terrain and models out of like cereal boxes. So which is great. I mean, that's really kind of that was kind of a golden age of all of it. Oh, I guess I could like sit up straight and stuff. All right, so first off, my current challenge in life is to change my thinking patterns. And it is, I wouldn't say it's difficult. I'd say it's hard to pin down because you can change a physical pattern, I think, easier than a mental pattern, and because your thoughts are like constantly going, and so all day long, it's like you're talking to yourself. You have this self-talk, and you also have physical talk when you say things. So when something doesn't go right, and you're like, oh, well, that's just par for the course. Well, wow, you just used your voice to make a very powerful statement. And what I've been doing is is switching that around and trying to catch myself. So, for example, if I put money in a vending machine and the candy bar doesn't come down, I don't go, stupid vending machine, this always happens to me. Because, and that may be actually what's in front of you. Maybe that does happen to you. Maybe the last 10 times you've used 10 different vending machines, the candy bar has gotten stuck. But it's still a choice. It's a choice that I make to say that and express that and feel that. I can always choose to react in whatever way I please. I can choose to perceive the current situation in any way that I choose. I can also choose to remember things any way that I want it. I'm currently going back and choosing to feel good about the positive aspects of the time that I was growing up, and to change the narrative. And that's just internal. That's just for me. I'm not trying to like engage in revisionist history, but I don't know. Maybe that's a thing too. And so today I'm like, okay, I'm going to think only positive thoughts, and that's when I realize I'm mostly worrying all day long. I'm imagining negative scenarios in my head and how I would respond to them. This is called worrying about something. Ooh, what's going to happen? What am I going to say? How's that conversation going to go? Oh, what are the numbers going to be? Blah. And it's like, well, first off, none of that helps, because I mean, I'm up here. It's an hour-and-a-half drive back to civilization. So anyway, I was on this balcony out here, and I looked down, and there's all these trash cans and, bins, and it's kind of the waste dump, and those areas get kind of gritty and stained, and they kind of have this smell to them, this trashy smell. And of course, I couldn't smell it from where I was. It was beautiful. But anyway, but then I looked up, and it's this gorgeous alpine, Swedish heaven mountain scene up there. And I'm like, wow, that was it. I could go like this, or I could go like that. I could do this and think about that and look at that and worry about that and think about that and dwell on that and complain about that. Or I could go like this and look at how wonderful and awesome things are. And that is what I'm working on. And it's been a year. We're coming up on October. Last October at Valhalla is when I had kind of this mental breakthrough, which I think I've shared before, which is today is always a good day. Today's going great. Even if yesterday I thought today was going to be terrible, guess what? Today ain't that bad. I just get through it, whatever the issues are. Maybe there's confrontations. But the issue is I'm always out of phase. I'm physically here. This is what I'm experiencing. Here's my wonderful family, and it's right now it's Wednesday, but yesterday I was thinking about this, so I'm like, it's Tuesday, and I'm here, and I'm with my wonderful family, and I go on a hike, and it's the weather's awesome. Kids are enjoying the pool. It's all they want to do, by the way, because it is a special treat for them. They're just down there constantly. And so anyway, but where's my mind? Friday. When I get back to the studio, what's going to happen? How is it going to be? And not that I'm worried about, how other people are doing. I guess it's just, generally I just worked up about tomorrow or 3 days from now, and that's no way to live. So living out of phase. I got to be like this, and of course, the other thing, the response to that, which I'm sure some of you right now were just like, yeah, but Sean, what are you just going to go through your life with blinders on? You'd be like, nope, can't see 3 days ahead. I don't think that's what I'm talking about. I think I'm talking about doing something about whatever it is I don't know, maybe I'm not even talking about that. All right, well, I can't touch bottom anymore, so I am going to stop talking about this. Anyway, meant to do this at the beginning, but I did want to make my typical disclaimer, because some people may not have heard it, some people may have forgotten it. I do not present myself as some kind of authority. I am not telling anybody how to live their life. I am only opening the curtains in case anybody wants to look in and take a gander. Yeah, that's it. I'm certainly not wise enough to tell anybody else how to be. And I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. It's like, especially with blue table painting, a couple ways to look at it. One is, it's a miracle, and it really is, you know, that it went from garage to the awesome place it is. But then on the other hand, I'm like, why are we not growing as fast as I want? Why is that not happening? And so it's almost like a mystery. And not just that, but anything in life. It's like, well, why is it not turning out the way that I want it to turn out? And then, of course, you know, there's lots of schools of thought on that, and there's of course what's going on in my own head, which is, well, you should be grateful for what you have. Yeah, but if I were grateful for what I had, I never would have, you know, I never would have done anything with my. I'd still be in Ashland. I'd still be couch surfing with my buds, you know. And it's like, well, okay, well, maybe that's not bad, but yeah, where is that line? And what I think is that it's difficult. It's almost painful, because I'm doing both. I have a very what's the word I'm looking for? It's not ambitious, because there's not ambition involved with this, but I have a very large vision of the future, of how great it can be, and I'm maintaining that, and I'm maintaining that in my own mind, and it's almost like a planet with its own gravity. It has its own creature that I have. So I have a fantasy life, and not just like a daydream type of thing where it's like limited about one specific thing. I've created this holistic, like there is a Sean Gately in the year 2018, in the year 2023, in the year 2033, who is having a certain kind of life, and who is having an experience. And but when I start worrying about how that could happen, that's when I run into trouble. It's like it rips my mind in two, because this vision has only to do with its own beauty. I'm not like going, okay, and now I'm gonna go get it. Whatever I got to do, or it's gonna be so much work. No, I'm not even worried about it. What's funny is when I really get my mind set into that, I really project my mind to the year 2018. It makes me feel good. I feel great the entire day. Like I get into the studio and I am up. It's fantastic, and absolutely no worry about how it can happen. I don't even think it can happen. Meaning, I don't see how I could go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. It's so out there. It's so miraculous. It's so wonderful that I'm like, you know, I don't know how. And then, of course, there's the present. And the present's awesome. There's really nothing wrong with the present. I'm glad to be here. Everything's fine. If anything, it's not that distant. It's when I just get a little bit out of phase, when I'm just worried about stuff that's in the very close to near future. So, all right. So that's life, I guess. That's what's going on inside my own mind. The business. So My dream for Blue Table Painting, and for any business that I start, is will it provide, what kind of opportunities will it provide for myself, and by association my family, and what opportunities will it provide for the people that work there? So the most obvious one for Blue Table Painting is that Blue Table Painting provides an opportunity for people to do something that they love. Job satisfaction. So nothing beats job satisfaction. And yeah, and then of course, you know, higher, if it goes to sort of a higher plane, you know, it could provide even better opportunities. You know, right now I have somebody who is running the company, basically. And so just that experience in itself is an opportunity for somebody else to have the satisfaction and the challenge that I had for those many years. In fact, it really was to some extent not a one-man band, but we call it Great Giant Brain. That there's a person in the middle that just kind of knows everything that's going on, and you know, and then so everyone kind of comes to that person, and you know, well, what's going on with this? Well, okay, I just know how to do it. And so that proceeded through 2011, and then in 2012 I started sort of trying to organize things more functionally, and then in 2013 we're making yet another lead. But there is a miniatures assembly and painting industry that is really a chimerical beast right now. It's changing, it's shifting. It doesn't know what it's going to be just yet. And Blue Table Painting, I have a vision of where I want to bring. At first I was like, in fact this was a year ago, I was like, well, it's going to be, you know, it's going to take like 200 people. And I remember this because last year when I was up here I was reading a book called Good to Great, because I like to read business books and I guess human improvement type of books. So I was reading Good to Great, which is about companies that go from like this small thing and then they bust out. You know, what is the pattern with that? That really, at this time, that really hasn't materialized for BTP. And don't get me wrong, Blue Table, I'm going to get to a point here. Blue Table Painting is in an awesome position. It's doing extremely well. It's already many times over every goal even the largest goal that I imagined when I first set out. So the question is, well, where is it going to go? And last year I was like, it's going to be 200 to 300 people, and this year I'm just like, yeah, it's going to be maybe 15% of that. And here's why: because that sounds like fun. That sounds like it's a smaller, more maneuverable entity. So there is a point where it doesn't grow really past that. It simply starts becoming better, and we've got both. We've got really both going on. That we are becoming both bigger and better. But it's still the. Well, let me put it to you this way. Blue Table Painting has completed right now about 7,000 contracts. So that's incredible. So my percentage of completion is 7,000 out of 7,000. That's the score of Blue Table Painting for reliability. That's incredible. That is just amazing. There's nothing even close to that out there. And so, right, but it's not 100% in the sense that we do have some contracts outstanding. But all of those contracts are on track to be completed. And of course, if you had anything going on, you wouldn't be done. Because as soon as you're done with that last contract and there's nothing else coming in, well, guess what? bye everybody, no more work. So there's always sort of that leading edge of like new stuff coming in. However, so it's 100%. But we have also taken on some refugees from Worthy Painting. So when Worthy Painting went under, it had some outstanding contracts, and we have, to the best of our ability, I just have to stress that right now we're doing the best we can for those people. But it occurred to me the other day that will actually put our completion rate at above 100%. Not only did we service our own clients, but we serviced people who never paid us anything, for which we got no money, but we still completed their projects. And the main reasoning behind that is irrational for business. It has to do with the nature of the miniatures battles industry, which is, it's a community, and sometimes you got to do what you can to help people out. And so this gets back to size of company, is that I want the most amount of impact. I call it influence, but that's kind of a charged word. Influence is like, political influence or whatever it is. It implies that you're getting one over on people. Oh, hey, darling wife. Hi, my wife is here. She's going to be part of this too. So go check the thing and see if I'm centered, right? Like my head should be about 2/3 the way up. I look good?
Yeah,
we're going to look like Regis and Kathy Lee.
But I'm going to turn it this way so that I'm actually in the middle.
Yeah, so will you, if you're sitting, because your head's going to be right here. Okay, great. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
This is my beautiful, lovely, adoring, sweet, forgiving, understanding, warm, wonderful, piece of arm candy wife. Yum!
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Hello.
So, all right, see, I gotta sit up a little straighter now that she's here. I can't be. Are you gonna sit up straight too? Oh, I'll sit up even more.
Okay.
Is this a contest?
I don't know. Is it?
No, it's not
No.
It's not a contest. So that's where I'm going with Blue Table Painting. I want to be large enough to have security and to be able to impact people's lives positively. And you can't do that when you're broke. No. Well, I'm sorry. That's Mother Teresa would be like, tsh, tsh.
Yeah.
It helps. Resources help.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about resources. Even if it's, that you give someone an opportunity to have professional progress because they have a job. And, before, for example, I would hire someone on and they'd work for 20 hours a week and they would take out the trash and pack the packages and, answer emails. And that was the best job. That was the best administrative job that I had. Now I have at least a few positions that are very challenging for people who are at a higher skill set. And yet...
and are more motivated to improve their situation and their skill set.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and of course, my situation can improve, and that's something I'm after. I want to do better. So there's this woman right here who grew up in rural Utah, and I want her to have an extraordinary life and have opportunities and to open doors for our children. Yep, that's right.
Give them experiences that they wouldn't normally be able to have access to.
Yep.
That would be awesome.
That's right.
Would be awesome.
So you guys don't really see that much of Tammy. And that's just her thing. She's doing
I'm a behind the scenes person.
Yeah, she's behind the scenes, but she's extremely supportive. She has, we were just talking this morning, is that I find it natural to be a front man, to be the voice, to be a point of contact for phone calls and visits. And I feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And but I do not like categorizing 6 months of expenses. And
I don't like that, but
right.
I find it more comfortable than being out in front talking
right.
with people.
Yep. Well, I mean, some people would rather, you know, jump off a building than have to be a salesperson. I don't even call it sales. I'm just out having a good time.
That's not my thing.
Yeah.
No, I'll be the support staff that answers phone calls and makes appointments for people and shuttles them here and there.
That's right.
And, you know, chit-chats them up. That I like that.
Yeah.
But don't make me responsible for the meat and potatoes part of it. No.
Yeah, I guess so. So, anyway, so thank you for being such a wonderful wife.
You're welcome. We complement each other well.
I think we do.
We balance each other out.
Well, okay, and for those that may just be joining the program, Tammy and I met in '93, and we met at church, and I was, of course, very outgoing, very involved.
His normal self.
My normal self.
His hyperactive self.
Yes, I'm a little hyperactive. Can't stay in my seat.
No.
And
creates things for himself.
Boy, I would never go back to college. That's for sure. Creating problems in class just because it's getting boring. Yeah. So Tammy, let's see. So when I first met her, I was like, wow. And there is such thing as love at first sight, I guess, or an impression. So from hi, my name is Sean, to will you marry me was 23 days. Yeah. And I've always viewed that as a very intuitive decision. And I was acting with the higher self with that. And it's turned out really well. Four kids and almost 20 years later. That's where we are right now.
Yeah,
bam.
Almost 20 years.
So I don't recommend that for everybody. That's not for everybody.
That's definitely not everyone's path to matrimony, for sure.
Well, do what you're going to do.
But
I would say even invent your own thing.
Well, and I would say be brave and trust your intuition. Trust yourself that you know what you need. And you know what's going to work best for the life you want, and move forward with that in mind. Yeah. And don't be hesitant, and don't necessarily listen to people who are quote unquote more conservative or more conventional. It's okay to be unconventional. It's okay to think outside the box, so to speak, and be brave in your life.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong listening to your inner voice.
Yeah, I think
so it's
either.
when other voices creep in that you get some trouble and you get kind of knocked off your center.
Mm-hmm. But and you know the difference between yourself talking to you and when other voices.
Do you?
I think you do. I think you do.
Because sometimes a little ball appears above Tammy's head, and it's her mother is in there talking to her. You're doing it wrong. Do it right or not at all.
Lots of different people.
And me the same thing.
Different people.
Mine are a little more subtle. But
mine
they're there.
Quite loud and abrasive.
Voices. Those voices.
To tune those people out and move forward with, because that voice inside of you, your personal voice, is, my personal belief is that's your spirit, and that was divinely placed in you to guide and direct you and give you the best life possible. Help you to achieve your full potential in your life. So you should listen to it, and it will not lead you astray.
That's funny. That's what I was going to say. Mm-hmm. That's really good, honey. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's good. So, well, if there's one thing I can say about myself is that I married well.
Yes, you did.
If anything,
and so did I.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
If anything, I needed an understanding person to put up with my multitude of neuroses. Oh my gosh. All right, well... It's okay, honey. It's okay. It's going to be okay.
It's all good. It's all good, sweetheart.
Good times. Well, that's what I had to say. Just a few things about blue table painting is like what's going on right now. The trade stock program, that's a huge deal. I love it. I can't get enough of it. It is a tremendous program. Basically, you can go onto our store. We've got something like 3,000 or 4,000 lots up there and new stuff coming in all the time. You can trade in your old stuff for a credit. And the beauty of that is that you're going to, there's something about giving something up. When you shed something that's old, that you're not using, that you're not excited about anymore, that is a good feeling.
It is.
And someone else is going to see that, and it's going to be new for them. They're going to be excited about it. They wanted those figures, and so you'll be creating a benefit for that person. And also, you get around your wife.
This is true.
That's right. You don't got to ask your wife permission to trade in your stuff.
Skirt the system.
That's right. Skirt. That's right. I got to tell you, wives, they're the #1 cause of lost sales for blue table painting. That and car accidents.
Yeah.
In fact, if you put
drive safe, people.
Here's a
just
weird
watch
thing.
where
Yes,
you're going
please.
and
do you mind?
Be proactive
Sean,
if you're driving.
I'd love to do my Army, but I just got in a car accident. I'm like, oh my gosh, don't let State Farm know that you have made an inquiry with me, because your chance of getting in an accident are like 30 times as much. Now, okay, let's talk about this, since we're doing this is life and business right now.
Okay.
This is something Tammy and I are interested in right now, which is this book I read called The Big Leap. It talked about upper limit problems.
Yeah.
And it is that in your mind, you've set rules and you've set limitations, probably at a young age and without knowing it.
Well, and because you were programmed, you were conditioned to think of these limits, think in these certain perspectives.
Yep. Don't eat all the cereal, because it might not be there tomorrow.
And,
you might run out.
Oh, no, that's not what I was
No?
programmed. Don't eat all the cereal because that's selfish and other people need to have
Oh! Now you can never have enough cereal. There could be 50 million tons of cereal in the place.
Well, and that's the thing. It's
but
like,
don't eat too much.
If you are, well, and it's gluttonous. If you're doing excess, if you're being excessive in your life, that's wasteful. And you need to be a good steward over the resources you were given. Which means...
Right, but where does that click over into the where it doesn't make sense?
Where it's too much.
It is okay.
You're erring too much on
the
side. You're neglecting yourself, or you're neglecting your needs at the for other people.
And
that's not good for anybody. It's important that you take care of yourself so that you have enough to give other people. Okay, we're back. And I have batteries for this one. Oh, okay.
So what were you saying, honey?
Oh, I was just saying, because if you are empty inside and you neglect yourself, then if you're empty inside, you won't have enough to share with other people. So you need to take care of yourself. You can't be constantly giving and meeting everyone else's needs and never meeting your own needs, or being very minimalistic in meeting your own needs.
Right. Like barely
needs the minimum
evokes barely scrape. If you're barely scraping by, that's okay, and you should apologize for everything else.
Yeah. No.
I don't think so.
I don't.
I think it is okay
to
do well.
I was raised that way, and
right.
that was the programming
I'm
that
almost
I received.
apologetic.
And
why am I doing this video? Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
But why am I doing this video and not working? I'm a little embarrassed to put this up because I'm thinking, are people going to be like, why is Sean on vacation? Why is he not doing things? You know? And it's like,
he is doing
I
things.
worked hard to get where I am. Well, maybe it's not that way. Maybe it's okay if things were just beautiful and natural and good things just came to you because of your own goodness and creativity.
And hard is a state of mind.
What's
hard? You can choose what you believe is hard. It doesn't have to be hard and difficult and, scratch and claw for every little morsel that you...
All right, we're back on. New batteries. We keep running out the batteries.
So it's not okay to you don't have to scratch and scrimp and scrabble and claw and be grateful for everything that you have, but don't be like, oh, every little thing, that's all I'm worth, having. I've got to really...
Self-worth.
Yeah, that I'm not that my efforts aren't worth more than this little bit that I've received. No, your efforts are worth whatever you want to receive, whatever you're willing to accept in receiving.
Yeah. Well, and this gets back to, this is all subtitles of upper limit problems.
Yeah.
A mental state that you imposed on yourself that, and this is the car accident thing.
Yeah.
So people, when they start coming to blue table painting to get their dream army done, which, let's admit it, that's probably the biggest splurge these guys do.
Yeah.
They, many, unbeknownst to them, have a trigger that's flicked in their own mind that then sets out to make sure that they don't get too happy.
Yeah. You can't be too happy.
And
if you're too happy, then you're doing something wrong.
Their subconscious knocks them back down to their comfort zone, which is,
comfortably numb.
Well, had to come. So, Tammy, not a big Pink Floyd fan.
I do like Pink Floyd. I just quoted Pink Floyd.
Oh,
so obviously,
I didn't know you liked Pink Floyd. I'll play more Pink Floyd now.
I'm not a huge Pink Floyd fan, but I like, on occasion, I'm very eclectic in my musical tastes.
Now that is true. That is true.
I am.
But I would say you don't like Pink Floyd.
I do like Pink Floyd. I'm not a huge Pink Floyd fan, but I do like Pink Floyd.
Look in the bedroom, in the suitcase on the left. You'll find my favorite
I don't like it when Sean
axe
constantly quotes
Don't
Pink
look
Floyd
so frightened.
and sings
This is
me
just a
Pink Floyd.
passing phase.
That
One
I
of
don't
my
like.
bad days.
Thank you.
Would you like to watch TV?
Because this is what he does.
Something to eat.
So why would I like that? I like Pink Floyd. I don't like this. And one is not exclusive of the other.
Would you like to learn to fly?
So there.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. Ah, there it is. The sigh. Awesome. So, and for a long while on our anniversary, I would sing Love Turns Gray.
That song I'm not a fan of.
Now, day after day,
Okay.
love turns gray. Like the skin on a dying man. All right, that's enough of that. Okay, so anyway, you know what's funny? I just want to talk to the young married guys out there. Because I was a young married guy.
You still are a young married guy.
So when you... No, I'm vastly changed, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. So at first, when I got married, the only way I really knew how to interact was like with my buds. So I kind of had this frat boy thing going on. Yeah. Which was really not very respectful. No. It was not respectful. So. And then you wondered why you got the reaction you did from me. That's right. Like all offended when I would react. No, you got to treat the lady like a lady. Yeah. And so now I'm much more enlightened. And so you can't really go back and say, well, I have regrets. Why didn't I learn faster? No, because that's what you did.
That was your learning process, and that brought you to this point.
Right.
With all the knowledge and the experience that you now have.
Thank you. I couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
That I am a gentleman.
You are. Much better.
Yay. 20 years of domestication later. All right, so anyway, so upper limit problem. If you put in a quote with Blue Table Painting and it looks like it's going to go through, just take a deep breath and be calm. Yeah, be willing to receive something good.
Yes.
And watch yourself when you're driving around.
Be
because
a cautious and defensive driver.
Yeah, I guess so. Because you really, let's face it, you want to get that Army and not spend that money on car repairs.
No, you don't want to spend
isn't that
on
interesting?
car repairs.
All right, well, folks, that is the show for the day.
Yeah.
I thank my lovely queen for joining me.
You're welcome.
And I just want to say publicly how much I love and respect and admire her.
Thank you.
And how fortunate I am to live with such a beautiful and refined woman.
Thank you. And
awesome.
you are very great. You are very lucky to have me as your wife.
I am lucky.
Yes, you are.
All right, guys. Until next time.
And I'm very lucky to have you as my husband.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Yeah. Mwah.
Love you.
I
like that lipstick on you.
Do you?
Yeah, it looks delicious.
Okay, great.
Mm.
Bye.
Was that one night when you were it was getting dark and you were on your own?
Oh, no. Yeah, well, we hiked around this way and down. But no, McKenna and Jonah and I, we went in a cave. We went spelunking with a group.
No kidding.
And we walked up at see that little
yeah
thing? And there's a cave back in here, like an old mine.
Wow.
And we got to go inside. It was pretty cool. It was really pretty cool. I would not mind doing that again. That was fun.
God, it sure is gorgeous up here.
Oh, it is. I was bored. My dad.
Wow,
Yeah, isn't that
look
gorgeous?
at that. Oh, this is redonkulous. All right, onwards and upwards, my love.